Hey guys, welcome to my channel Total Angrezi by Vidushi. Do subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon to never miss an update, and do give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Okay, so today we are going to do the chapter The Midnight Visitor that has been written by Robert Arthur. As always is the drill, we are going to do a vocabulary, a Q&A, a summary, and there will be some extra question and answers which are not there in your textbook, and a character sketch as well. So let's begin with this chapter. So let me introduce the characters to you first. The characters are Ozable, who is the main character. Then there is Fowler, whom you can take as a side actor. Then there is Max, who you can call as the antagonist or the villain. And finally we have a waiter who has a special appearance. So let's take this like a movie where you have the main character, a side actor, a villain, and a special appearance. So these are the four characters. All of them have an important role to play, but for the waiter who just comes in at the end. Now when the story begins, we're introduced with two people. Let's consider this man on the left who's a little healthy as Ozable. Now who is Ozable? Ozable is the main lead of the story, as we can call it. He is a fat man. He has this American accent, and he has that American accent because he had gone to Boston a few years ago, and now that he's returned back to Paris, which is where this entire story is based, he's brought that accent back with him. But he is very known for his good judgment. And what does he do? He is a secret agent. So we come to know that Ozable is leading another man who you can see on the right. Let's assume this other skinny man over here who's a little good looking and a little worn out, a little confused. This as Fowler. Now Fowler is a writer. He was hoping to go along with Ozable to get some nice stories and to see some thrill and some action, but Ozable himself has recognized, and he is joking around with Fowler, saying that maybe you expected that there'll be some thrilling, or there'll be some gunshots that you'll hear, and Ozable knows that Fowler is feeling let down. He's feeling disappointed with going around with Ozable, who is not so active as such as we imagine a secret agent to be. So that's what's going on over here. He himself makes fun, and he says that you're a romantic writer and you thought that you'll see some mysterious things or figures, or maybe you'll see that I'm putting in drugs in somebody's wine, or like there is some pistols around, or there are some females coming around. So that's what usually happens, and now you're feeling disappointed. So Fowler is totally confused. They're both in a hotel. This entire story is set up in a hotel, and they're on the 6th floor. So as soon as he says that, then he says that don't worry, I got a phone call sometime back and you will be getting some action, because a very important paper will be delivered to me in some time from now. So that will lead us to a very nice conclusion to the case I'm solving, and you'll get to see what you want to see. Saying that, he leads him up his hotel room. You can see it's a very dingy hotel which has a very narrow hallway, and there's it's not like the ones you would expect secret agents to see in those posh places and like you see in the Bond movies or anything like that. This man is living in a very shady hotel, which is why Fowler gets very disappointed. Now as soon as they open the door and they go inside, they see Max, who's standing there with a gun pointing at them. Now you can see Ozable over there is a little bit alarmed, but he's not as surprised as Fowler is, because Fowler didn't know that as soon as they would enter the room, there would be someone like that standing with a gun in their hand, which is a scary scenario. So but to his surprise, Ozable already knows the man, and he immediately says that, oh, it is Max. So this is the first thrill that Fowler experiences that evening. Max and Ozable know each other. They are both secret agents. They are both competitive, and they're both trying to fight for that one piece of paper which Ozable was supposed to get delivered in the room. So they have this exchange of conversation where Ozable tells Max that I thought you were in Berlin, how are you here? And this person says that, oh God, I have to be here because I need this paper, and I don't want to create any scene. I'm just here for the document and you should give it to me, or else I have a gun in my hand. So now that we know that this character has come to threaten, you can understand the characteristics from his picture too, that he's a very slender, not so tall, but he doesn't look very scary as well, but he's trying to create that threat through the gun. So these are some things that you can understand about Max from this picture as well. Now, even though Fowler is a little bit surprised and alarmed and scared, Ozable is very calm. If you can see that chair he's kept behind, you can see. He goes and sits down there on the chair very calmly, and he starts saying that, oh my god, I have to fight with my management who I am working with, because I had told them before also that they shouldn't put me in a room where there is this window, because people can easily climb into my window using the balcony that is there below this room. And he explains how this was a house and then it changed into a hotel, and how the balcony is now under the room. So Max is very surprised. He says that there is a balcony under this room. I had to use like keys. I had to use a pass key. And he says that I wish I had known about this balcony. If I did know, I wouldn't take all that effort with the pass key. Now, when all of this is going on, Max tells Fowler that he sees Fowler, and he sees that how surprised or scared he is, and he says that even you should sit down, because according to my calculation the paper will come after 30 minutes, so maybe you should sit down. For how long will you stand? And he still has the gun pointed towards them. Just when all of this is going on, Ozable, corrects him also. He says that not 30 minutes, not half an hour. It's going to come in 31 minutes. And I just want to know, how did you come to know that I'm going to get this paper? So this kind of conversation is happening between Ozable and Max. And just then they hear this is the balcony. You can see that he's trying to say that was there. Alright. This is the balcony. And this is when he gets an idea. So he cooks up this story and he tells them about the balcony and all of that, and that is when they hear a loud knock on the door. Now just when he hears this loud knock, Max is very scared. Now he's scared because he thinks that the police is here. Now why does he think the police is here? Because again, Ozable told him that it's a very important document. How did you think that it would come to me without any police protection? It is police protected. And Max gets very scared, and he says that if you tell them anything about me being here, I'm going to shoot you, and I'm going to shoot your friend with you. So what he does to save himself is he goes out of the window, hoping to land in the balcony that is there below, and he says, I'm going to wait there until you get rid of this policeman that has come, and after he goes, I will come back in and you will give me the document. If you do anything that I have not told you to do, then I'm going to shoot you. This is the threat that he gives them. So he goes outside, he flings himself outside, and there is a long scream, loud one, that Fowler and Ozable both use. Now Fowler over here is not able to understand anything. He's just standing there and watching the entire scenario. He screams, and just then Ozable opens the door, Fowler opens the door, and they see that there is a waiter over there. It's just a waiter who has come there with a drink, who is called Henry. Now Fowler is all the more confused. He cannot understand what is this waiter doing here. He's completely confused. He thought that the police had come there with the document, and that is when Ozable, takes charge again and explains what he had done. He had played a very smart game with Max, and he reveals that there is no balcony underneath that room, and he played a smart game, and when they were on their way up to the room, he had already told Henry the waiter to bring in drinks, and he made use of that opportunity by saying that it is the police. He scared Max away. Max tried to jump out of the window, but there was no balcony, so he must have fallen down from the 6th floor of the building to the ground. And this is how he reveals the entire story that he's played. So you can see that he played a very nice and witty game, at the same time very smart game, which makes him a very good secret agent, because that's what that kind of smartness is what a secret agent needs. Now apart from the vocabulary that's already given, I find one word very interesting. This is my vocabulary section, and the word I found from here is menacing, which means threatening. So you can see that this word comes when there is a character sketch given about Max in the textbook in the story, where they say that there is nothing menacing about him apart from the gun in his hand, which means that there is nothing threatening about the way he looks apart from the gun that he has in his hand. For example, the teacher gave the boys a menacing look when he found them copying. So a menacing look is when you're trying to create a danger in somebody's eyes, when you're trying to threaten somebody that, you know, if you do this, I'll do that. So not that the teacher is going to do anything with the boys, but then these are the kind of looks that a teacher will give when they see somebody copying. Hence this sentence. Alright, let's quickly go through the character sketch for Ausable, which is one of the most important things that can come. Now you have to form the character sketch from the entire story of what you think about him. So here are some points, and you can back these points up with sentences from the text. You can back it up with your explanation from the episodes that happen in the story. So he is a fat and sloppy person. He has an English accent because he had gone to Berlin once. He is a spy, he is a secret agent, he's a very quick thinker. Why is he a quick thinker? Because he was immediately able to relate the knocking with a police. Even he knew that it was a waiter, but he told a lie. He was quick in thinking and acted very spontaneously. He's also very witty. Why is he witty? Because he's trying to crack these jokes with Fowler, saying that, okay, this is what you thought, but this is what is happening, and he laughs around. He has a very good presence of mind, which means to say that if he entered the room and if he would have also gotten scared like the way Fowler did, then maybe he wouldn't have been able to achieve what he did, which makes him a very creative person also, because he's good at cooking up stories. And that indeed makes him a convincing person, because he says those stories in such a convincing way that the person has to believe whatever he's saying. And last but not the least, he has a good sense of humor, because in the end, when Fowler is confused and he reveals the entire story to Fowler, he finds himself in a very good humor, saying that how he saved the day with that situation. So he has a good sense of humor because he cracks jokes here and there, and he makes this very funny story, which at the end of the day makes him a winner. Let's go to a few questions over here. You'll find the answers in my summary itself. You will also find the answers in this story as well. What great qualities made Ausable a successful secret agent? You can take some of these qualities from the character sketch that we just discussed. Apart from that, why was Fowler disappointed on seeing Ausable? Now, why was he disappointed? He thought that the person he was visiting would look more like a secret agent. There would be some mystery, there would be some running around chasing, pistol noises, pistol clicks and all of that, but that didn't happen. Rather, all he was doing was taking him up a room with a room to just get a piece of paper. So he was not like other secret agents. He was neither very flashy nor very romantic. Who was Max? How did Ausable get rid of him? Now Max, as we also already know, he was also a secret agent, and he had come to rob those papers from Ausable. But Ausable cooks up a story which is very comic at the end of the day, and he makes him jump out of the balcony, and he ultimately dies. How did Max try to escape? What happened to him? Now Max was very scared of the police, thinking that the person knocking on the door was the police, and so he jumps out of the balcony. He puts one leg out and then he jumps, thinking that there would be a balcony underneath to protect him, but indeed he falls down 6 floors and dies. Why did Ausable frame the story of the balcony? You know this answer very well, because he wanted to outwit Max from giving him the papers, and so he cooks up the story, and you know the drill. Why did Max enter Ausable's room? How did he do so? He did so by using a pass key. And why? Because he wanted to take the report regarding the new missiles, and he knew that Ausable was going to get those papers. The balcony plays a significant role in the story The Midnight Visitor. Why do you think so? That is the escape that Max uses, and that is the one reason why Ausable is able to save the day. So that's why it plays a significant role. How do you know that Ausable was an intelligent secret agent? Now there are a number of reasons which you can find from this entire video, which accounts for the fact that Ausable was indeed an intelligent secret agent. I think it's very easy to form that answer now. Coming to the long questions, there's three that I found. What fake story was made by Ozable in the hotel room? You know that by now. What made it a convincing story? Now you can add things like his confidence made it convincing, his peace of mind made it convincing, his calmness made it convincing. You can use all of these points to back the story and what made it convincing. Give a character sketch of Ozable. We've already discussed it. Why did Fowler become white-faced at the end of the story? Now, this is something that you need to think. Why do you think he would have become white-faced? First, he was scared when he saw Max with the gun. Then he comes to know that they're all after this report or document that's going to come about the missiles. Then he Ozable narrates a very a weird story to him, and then he hears the knocking, the entire story that happens, and starting from entering into the room to Max jumping out to finally when Ozable reveals the story of how they got out of the danger. That is why he is left white faced. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for listening, and once again do subscribe to our channel Total Angrezi. Do share our video with your friends because of course sharing is caring. Hit the bell icon to get update on new videos because there's a lots more coming on my channel, and of course one thumbs up will not take more than a second of your time. Do so. I'll see you in the next video.